Welcome friends to another Dune video. What pushes the Duncan Ghola to think about killing Leto II, God Emperor of Dune, to break his bonds with the Atreides? Spoilers for the God Emperor throughout, let's get into it. Leto II, son of Paul Atreides, became a human sandworm hybrid so he can guide humanity on its golden path. He continues to order Tleilaxu Gholas of Duncan over the length of his reign of roughly 3,500 years. When one dies, Leto orders another so that he will continually have one to serve him as a swordmaster. For context, for those that don't know, a Tleilaxu is a race in Dune of people who are able to manipulate genetics, and a Ghola is an artificial human who is replicated from a dead individual. Leto does this because for him, Duncan reminds him of the loyalty of the Atreides, and he's also drawn to him because of his humanity, which Leto himself lacks due to his transformation. Leto himself has the genetic memories of Paul and Leto, the first, the just, in him, and so their love for Duncan gives the God Emperor another reason. And Leto does all this for his golden path. Life has been made stagnant, space travel is virtually non-existent, and technology has been reduced to a medieval level. All this to match his prophecy that will allow him to teach humanity a lesson that they will remember in their bones. This is to prevent all humanity being killed by the great enemy he sees in his visions. We will now go through a couple of scenes from the book that show Duncan's growing disillusion with Leto II. This is a direct conversation between Leto and Duncan, starting with Duncan. The fish speakers for context are Leto's personal army. Your fish speakers aren't an army, they're a police force. By my name, I assure you that's not so. Police are inevitably corrupt. You tempted me with power. That's the test, Duncan. You don't trust me. I trust your loyalty to the Atreides implicitly, without question. This is Duncan and Leto again. He has seen more of what Leto has done and is growing increasingly frustrated. It starts with Duncan. Is there some frontier? Is there some frontier where I could go and never again be a part of this? If there is to be any frontier, you must create it. There is now no place to go where others of us cannot follow and find you. Then you won't let me go. Go if you wish. Others of you have tried it. I tell you there is no frontier, no place to hide. Right now, as it has been for a long, long time, humankind is like a single-celled creature, bound together by a dangerous glue. No new planets, no strange... Oh, we grow, but we do not separate, because you hold us together. I do not know if you can understand this, Duncan, but if there is a frontier, any kind of frontier, then what lies behind you cannot be more important than what lies ahead. And of course here Duncan is referring to Leto's golden path and how he's stopping humanity moving around. Duncan doesn't understand why he's doing it, and Leto keeps trying to reach him, but is not able to get him to understand that. Here Monio, a follower of Leto, talks to Duncan. This starts with Duncan. Do you know what the original Atreides dukes always said? Is it pertinent? They said your liberties all vanish when you look up to any absolute ruler. Don't say such things, because one of these women will report it. You are more reckless than any of the others. Really, please, it is perilous in the extreme to take this attitude. He can only kill us, you fool. The worm can dominate him at the slightest provocation. The worm, you say? You must trust him. Yes, I think they heard that. He's billions upon billions of people united in that one body. So I've been told. He is God, and we are mortal. How is it a God can do evil things? I wash my hands of you. So you can see the Duncan that runs through God Emperor of Dune comes to question Leto and how he lacks so much that made the Atreides a loyal family to Duncan. He sees the control he has over people and the tyranny and oppression he puts people through. Very un-Atreides, and so his loyalty to him is tested. In just about every case, the Duncan Gholas Leto has summoned prior to this one have rebelled, and some had to be killed by Leto himself when they tried to assassinate him. This all leads to Duncan and Siona Atreides, that Leto wants Duncan to breed with, plotting to kill Leto to end his tyranny, and so, as Leto is to be married to his bride, he crosses a bridge, and Naylor, who works with Siona, uses a lasgun to take out a support beam. Leto's entourage, along with his wife and him, plunge to their deaths. But Leto lives for a short time due to his worm form, long enough to say that Siona is part of his secret program to create someone who cannot be seen by prescient vision. This is part of his golden path. The rule of the Empire is left to Duncan and Siona. So friends, I turn this over to you. What do you think to the betrayal of Leto at the hands of Duncan? Could he have handled it better? Comment down below.